Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check, mic check. All right. Just let me know if you can hear me in the live stream. For those who might catch this video a little later, I will tell you to take full advantage of the chapters because this will be a lengthy stream. I don't plan on doing too much, but just enough so you can get the gist of what we're talking about today, which is Arturia Pigments. So we're going to take a quick look at that because I have that pulled up here and we'll see it here. I'm going to give shout outs in a second, but yeah. So Arturia Pigments 3 is coming through in the clutch. I've already done a review on that. So, you know, if you're wondering if I'll do anything about that, then yeah, I will. I see people in the chat. I'm gonna give shout outs to Noodles, what's good? David, what is going on? So, yeah, let's get this cracking. So what I'm gonna do real quick is I'm gonna share this out on social media. Twitter is blocked. Whoa, did I get blocked on Twitter? Let's find out. No, that's weird. But I'm gonna go ahead and but if you're in for the long haul or you're not in for the long haul, don't worry about that because I will have chapters built into the video. This video is very important to me because I do sound design, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a second here. I'm just looking at, you know, the stuff that's all the people. If you're checking in, what's up? I'm just gonna go ahead and take care of a couple of things because we are live, and I want to let Twitter know about that. So there we go. All right, Twitter knows, so we can go ahead and continue with the show. Again, we're doing a live stream on this right here. I'm gonna go ahead and get to that again, and that is Pigments 3. But how I usually start off these live streams is by giving shout outs to people, you know, because I want to give a shout out to all the new subscribers. We are in the cusp of making it to about, I don't know, we're on the pace for 100K. We're already at 95K on the channel, and I thank everybody. And that's kind of the reason why I like to do that. So again, I want to go ahead and give shout outs to people. So let's go ahead and do that. So first, if I mispronounce your name, don't get mad at me. I want to go ahead and give a shout out to Roberts. What's good? Be in the chat, by the way. Just check in. Just say where you're from, you know, and introduce yourself to the family. What's going on, DJ Sweetie? 7 Springs, what's good? So, MFP Big Cheese, thanks for the sub. MPI Mondo, what's going on? Thanks for the sub. Matru Tex 23. Antoine Dent, Fanny, Ian, and You Sick 92. Y'all in these names, man, I swear, y'all gonna kill me with these names. But yeah, special shout out to all y'all. I do greatly appreciate that. What I'm gonna go ahead and do is make some minor adjustments. All right, we got Brooklyn in the building. Casper Jr. 716, what's good? K Freeman, what's going on? And happy holidays to y'all guys. I know we got New Year's coming up, and I know that's very important to everybody because New Year, new you, right? So that's one of the things that we'll talk about. So, you know, continue giving shout outs. Again, I want to hear where y'all from. It's going to be a nice, relaxed stream. Make sure that you subscribe. It helps out this channel. That's one of the things that I always try to tell you guys. It really does help out the channel. Silex, what's good? Michael Heath, what's poppin'? Dwayne H, what's good? Always. Hey. Hope everybody's having a good day as well. Von Thorne, what's good? Yeah. So I have, and let me go ahead and point that out because we haven't been too smooth. I do have a video. This is my YouTube channel at hand. So if you want to find a topic, just feel free to go to my channel, you know, click on the AVI or the PFP, whatever you all call it these days, and type in the search, whatever. So if I typed in Arturia, just Arturia alone, you'll see a whole bunch of my videos. But if you get case specific, then you can type in Arturia Pigments, oops, and there you go. And you'll see live right now. And you'll also see that I did a video on the new features, but I've done so many videos on Arturia Pigments that, excuse me, that I am a little exhausted. You also can see in the background, you can see in the background that I got like my MPC and set up right there. This is probably gonna be what I do stuff on IG. So if you're wondering what my social media is, well, the link's in the description box, but I can help you out now. I put a little lower thirds right here. Check me out over there at dj@mcree.net. We'll go over there, you know, because right now it's about paying these bills. You can follow me on Twitter @Mcree. I thought I got banned, but I'm glad I didn't get banned. But yeah, so I didn't get banned on Twitter. But yeah, you can see right here, you know, DJ@Mcree at Facebook, and then you have SoundCloud, which I really don't do anything on, and of course I'm mainly on IG because IG shares a similar kind of makeup as YouTube, and it seems to be the future. So, you know, not long till I hit 100K. I know about 5K more, and we're in there. But yeah, got a lot of content on my channel. I think I'm at 18,000 video. Not 18,000, but 1,800 videos or 1,800 videos. So yeah, we're gonna be here for quite a while. So, but anyways, what is going on? Where we at, like 7 minutes in? Yeah, I didn't do a long intro, so it doesn't seem like I'm taking a long time. I'm just making sure that everything is okay, running well, properly exposed. Let's see. I'm gonna turn this off real quick. I don't think that's necessary. I think it's putting too much glare in the video. But I hope everybody's doing all right. I know I'm sounding a little robotic. I'm trying to kind of catch my bearings. But yeah, let's see. Let's go ahead and pull it up here. We're gonna get to it. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and give a little bit more shout outs here. I'm gonna Uncle Tone Beats, Lens, Enigma, what's good? 7 Strings, J Beats, and Waves, what's good? Yeah. Young Shinto, what's poppin'? Yeah, drop, you know, say what's up to everybody, you know, introduce yourself to the people in the chat, and, you know, tell me where you're from, where you're watching, time zone, and we're gonna get to it. We're gonna be here. 7 Wounds, what's poppin'? Send me this video for later. I've been waiting on this one for a while. Thanks in advance. Oh, my pleasure, my pleasure. Good to see you, man. It's been a while, but you know, always good, always good. What's going on? Eddie Doo-Wop. But yeah, so let's go ahead and get the introduction part here. So the main thing that we're talking about is this right here for the 1 millionth time, and it is Arturia Pigments. So what Arturia Pigments is very different from what you would call regular FM synthesis, and it's kind of funny because the actual name of it is supposed to be a polychrome synth, but it benefits from a lot of frequency modulation. So, you know, FM frequency modulation. However, Arturia Pigments can do more than that, and we'll talk about that in a second. Right now, but matter of fact, let's talk about it now. And the reason why I said it can do more than frequency. So right now we're looking at the sample engine, which the last time I checked it out, it was there, but it wasn't refined as it is now. But you have 3 different engines. And this is where I want people to understand. These 3 different engines are virtual analog, well, 4: wavetable, and sample and harmonics. So I know people are like, oh, well, I can get the gist of it. And also it does, let's get a little less volume on the master here, because I don't want this. It sounds really good. Like it has a lot of charm to it, you know, and that's undeniable. There's a lot of VST plugins that don't have charm. They pretty much follow the same kind of blueprint. They don't really expound on anything. That's why I haven't done that many reviews as of lately. But yeah, so you have 2 engines. So yeah, 2 engines and engine types. You know, normally that would be called oscillator, and you have oscillator voices or oscillator waveforms. But on Arturia Pigments, you know, they just changed it up a little bit, but with a little bit of familiarity if you have done sound design before. But instead of calling, you know, oscillators, which would be technically 2 oscillators, it has just 2 engines. So, you know, just think of it that way. What's going on? Shout out to my moderators. Polychrome Audio. What's good? Bien. Oh, Jim Shannon on sounds. What's going on? Happy holidays. KB420PS. What's poppin'? Yeah. And one of the things that also I've covered in my videos, I always talk about it, is a little bit of CPU intensive, but my computer can handle a lot, especially when I'm doing these local videos. So I think I have my laptop linked in the description box. There are newer versions of it, so you know, don't be fooled if you look at it. But mine is a Lenovo Legion Wi-Fi 40 17-inch. It also has 16 gigs of RAM by default, but you can expand it up to 32 gigs of RAM. You really won't get much out of that for music production, as virtual RAM kind of benefits from video editing. But nonetheless, it also has a graphics card that it gets little to no use, but it's a beast. All right. But anyways, so with Pigments here, let's go into the analog voices here so we can see. A matter of fact, let's start with, I know they have an initial preset. I think that might have been the thing I was going to look for when I was doing this video, when I had initially done this video. And feel free to let me know. I'm not gassing up myself to say that I know all that's about that. But as you can see, it does have a lot of presets. That's important. Oh, well, we're going to templates, going to default. There we go. Boom. So again, so first things first, when you are making a sound, and we're going to look at and the analog, virtual analog, as you can see, I'm pressing on my push 2, and there's no sound, and that's because you need to engage the engine so you can hear sound. Okay, so now that we have that sound in there, what we can do is go through the different engine types. So, you know, if you want to look at it from your typical day-to-day synthesizer, virtual synthesizer, then yeah, an engine would be an oscillator, and you have 4 different oscillator types or waveform types, and you can do much with them. So we're in analog, and by default you have a sawtooth in these different areas right here. And this is kind of funny because now we have different oscillators, so I kind of get the point of them naming the engines, because when you select virtual analog, well, you have oscillator 1, oscillator 2, oscillator 3 over here. So, you know, you can change them. And by default, if you go to like oscillator 2, you have to turn on the volume. Doesn't sound like much yet, but don't worry about that. But these waveforms right here, so let's cover these waveforms in the virtual analog area, engine. And that is a sine, which sounds like this, and a triangle that sounds like this, and a sawtooth starting with an up ramp this way, sounds like this, and then a sawtooth starting with a down ramp to an up ramp, it sounds like this. Let's see if I can hear the difference. Okay, so the one that has the up ramp, or the up ramp or whatever, you can hear it's smoother. It doesn't have as much attack because it doesn't start with the top of the sawtooth ramp. So yeah, and then you have a square waveform. Sounds like that. Between these, of course, remember again, you can use all three of these if you want. But the one thing that you might want to do is mess with chorus. So what does chorus do? Well, as you can see, one of the things, the biggest charms of using pigments in a nutshell is being able to see if I highlight a parameter, you can see that it will tell you what it does, or it'll show you the metrics of what it does. So this is clearly called volume and is measured in decibels, as all sound should be. But yeah, you can raise your semitones and so forth. So I'm going to keep this sound simple because I think it's very important. And then we learn how to expound on that from here. Now, over here on the far left side, you have tune. So what does that sound like? We already know. So basically, it controls pitch. It controls semitones. So if I play a C and I go up one semitone up here, it will be a C sharp. And then the B will be a C. All in theory if I play it, but you can look at the keys. You can see I'm playing a C, but it's a C sharp because I brought it up a semitone. I think this is important to focus on some of the simpler things until we can get into the advanced things, because everybody wants to be a hero, but you need to learn all of the basic stuff. Also, again, if you look at the bottom left part of the UI, which is resizable, by the way, let's go ahead and go through that. Resize window is only on 90%. I go to 100%, it's this big. And yeah, it's a little bigger, but I like that for this live stream. You can see if I highlight a parameter at the lower part, and if you don't see what it does, and if you need that explanation of what it does, it's at the bottom left side of the screen. So it says chorus sets the pitch of the engine. So if we already got familiar with what pitch is, what it does, but what about fine? What does that do? See, the thing about fine tune is it doesn't take it all the way out of tune. And this is very important because, you know, if you're truly trying to get that analog type vibe, well, guess what? You're going to have to, or you'll probably use that fine tune and send it to an LFO. Now I'm getting a little further down the line because modulation is its own thing, but don't worry about it. I will cover that. Okay. So now we're in there, about 19 minutes in. So cool. Now we're in there and we can talk about drift. Now, drift isn't doing a damn thing. And that's because if you look at the bottom left part, it says analog 1 drift adds randomness to the pitch of each voice, it makes chords wider. So we'll have to play this with the drift. I don't hear anything, right? I kind of heard it right there. When we play, I just played that chord, and you can hear a little bit of drifting, kind of analog style, which is pretty cool. I didn't know anything about that. I promise you, I knew nothing about that. But let's move on. Can Pigments get some of the Prince VST type sounds? Well, yeah. I mean, that's what it does. It does more than just play one shots like the Prince plugin, and we'll talk about that a little later. So going on to like drift, we already did drift. We haven't covered that, which is quantized mod. When active, the modulation of the pitch will be quantized. So let's go ahead and check that out with drift. Okay, so you can get pretty. It can sound very analog just from doing that simple stuff. But we all know that that's kind of boring, right? That particular sound is boring as hell. So what I'm gonna do in retrospect to that is go and turn on oscillator 2, because oscillator 2, which to turn it on, you just turn up the volume. I'm gonna select the same waveform, and I will drop the semitone to about 12, and you'll notice something. So dropping it to -12 is basically dropping it an octave. So so if I turned it off, you only hear this right here. Now let's go ahead and bring that all the way. Let's go ahead and bring that all the way up in volume. And now we have successfully made a saw lead, like maybe not a saw lead, but yeah, saw lead without any legato. We'll talk about that terminology in a little bit. Now on this one, I will do the exact opposite. I will go up about 12 semitones. Again, that's an octave. So, by default it's 0. If you go up to like 2, that's not going to sound as well. You get the point of why I'm doing it. Hopefully. You never know. Some people on here are a little crazy. But anyways, let's go over here and drop about 12 semitones. I can't hear anything because my dumb self needs to turn up the volume. Awesome. Okay, so now we hear that big old sawtooth. I'm almost ready to make a jungle beat, right? But and then you see kind of where the magic is at. There's also other features too that I want to point out to make this a little bit more interesting. Remember, you can use some fine tune to do a lot. Kind of to take it out of tune so it doesn't have normal behavior. I know you guys are like, man, just go ahead and do some modulation. We'll get to that. And here's key mode. It says that analog 1 O2 key, when active, the second oscillator follows the key that is pressed. All right, so we just activated it there. I'm looking at the chat and seeing what's going on, so don't worry. And if you have missed anything, don't worry about it. I will have chapters up. Right now, we're talking about the engine. The engine 1. We're not using engine 2 yet because we haven't gotten to the deeper parts of the sound design. We're talking about the walkthrough part, basically how this functions and what kind of messes everybody up. And we're talking about the engine type analog. We haven't got to wavetable synthesis, which a lot of people will like. And then you have this area right here, which is frequency modulation. And remember, I saw a comment in my, maybe not in the chat, but it might have been in the comment section of the video, and it was talking about how this sounds very metallic. And that is the true, genuine texture of FM synthesis in a nutshell, because you're modulating one voice into the other voice. One is carrying or acting as if it's an LFO, or sometimes even depending on how, well, no, that's ring modulation, but you're carrying that voice over. So basically, that's why you have this area right here where it says FM synthesis right here. Well, FM, frequency modulation. And now when I add stuff in there, you can see it's compiling some more waveforms in here. And then you start to see kind of the magic behind what Pigments can do in a nutshell. Just some of it, not all of it. Now we can talk about this different module. So engine 1, engine 2 is under one module. So you have different modules, like you have your filter modules right over here. And I think that would have made sense if I would explain that first, but you know, I'm rusty. You have your filter modules. So you have 2 filters right here. You do have additional filters in your effects section, but we're not talking about that right now. You have filter routing, amplitude modulation, and yeah, we'll talk more so about that a little later. And then you have voice pan and synth level, which we'll talk about a little later. You also have this area where this is all your modulation. It is a very unique system, probably the most unique system of sound design I've ever, of synthesis I've ever experienced. And I'm old, so that's what matters.
Oh, you motherfucker.
So anyways, you also have these other modules right over here. You have your keyboard module where you can do a few things we'll talk about later. You have your envelope modules. You have your LFO. This is all tied into your modulation. So let's go and get up out of that. Let's go to the keyboard module. All right, so now we're moving on. We have this sound. Now this sound is too annoying, or it sounds annoying to me in my headphones. So shout out to what's going on, Destructo. Happy holidays, peoples. All right, so hopefully I'm making I have 4 uploads this month already of dubious quality. Okay, hey, what audio interface should I get? The Arturia Mini Fuse 2 or the MOTU M2? I don't know much about either one of those. Arturia did not put me a part of that campaign, though I've done stuff for them. And my audio interface that I'm using this live stream right now is actually a Arturia Audio Fuse Studio, and I swear by it. I love it. Hopefully I won't regret it a little later, but we'll find out momentarily. Anyways, so going back to this, we're talking about the filter area. So we have the filters, and if I was to mess with these parameters, so on the parameters of the filters, you have cutoff, which does this right here. Damn, it sounds like a step filter. It's actually pretty cool. That's a little different for a synthesizer. And then you have resonance, which does this. And now I have to sweep through the use cutoff so you can hear it. Let's go ahead and get a little less volume here. A little bit more volume. All right. It sounds wicked. It sounds like some robotic stuff. But yeah, so if I was to go, let's go ahead and mess with resonance some more so you can get a good gist of what it does to the frequency. Is it peaks it. Peaks the transient. And boy, when we get to that point, and then there's volume, which does what? Kind of gives you like a makeup gain. And then you have what you call key, what is it? I use a key follow, or what's this? let's hear it. But it just makes the filter even on every note. All right, so now you're in the filter section. Oh, and then there's pan. Sorry. Wow. Sounds wicked in my ear. Oh my God. We're going to have fun today. So with that, there are more engines. There are more, well, filters, shall I say, instead of engines. As you can see, and wow, I did not notice that either, but that is a great improvement to the UI. So you have, oh yeah, so messing with this, you can, choose different parts. You can choose LFOs. Just in that one area there. So now, filter types. So you have, right now, you've heard probably the most musical, not so destructive filter, and which is the low pass 24 decibel filter. There are more filters, like you have a low pass 6 filter. You have a low pass 12 filter. And let's go back to that low pass 6 filter, which doesn't have a resonance control. 12 does. And I'm just you can hear there is a difference between every filter, every low pass filter. And that's a low pass 36 filter, high pass filter, which by the way, guys, low pass filters cut up all the frequencies on the higher part of the frequency. So you ain't gonna hear no highs. But if I have the cutoff all the way to the right, have that. What's going on, Bash Ali? But yeah, so you can see just by messing with filters, you can create some pretty decent sounds. Like it's quite possible just to mess with just the filter, just to mess with the filter section and your engines or oscillators, and get a pretty unique sound from that. So let's go a little deeper than that. Let's go ahead and check out some other stuff about the filters. So the high pass filter, again, cuts off the lower frequencies. It sounds like this. So if I roll the cutoff to the left, if you'll get less, you get more bass back. So you might have like a idea for a patch at least would be, if you have something that has too much bass and you want to get rid of that, so you can, have your 808s fit into that equation of your mix, or you might want to take away some higher frequency content and use a low pass filter just to get rid of all the higher frequencies. Like maybe you distorted an 808 or you put like some distortion on there. You can use a filter kind of take some of that out, but still have that girth and that initial impact of the 808 without all the extra harmonics that will kind of ruin your mix and get in the way of other frequencies that are way more important than those distorted frequencies that you process. So anyways, now that we have that, we have a second filter. If I turn that on, you'll actually have a pretty diverse sound as well. So let's go ahead and play with the cutoff filter 1. And remember, you can do makeup. And since we already talked about filter 1, we'll need to talk about filter 2. But I will talk about a couple of other things too, though. And I've just noticed this, and I do apologize for just noticing that. But they have different filter types that you can choose between, filter 1 and filter 2. Since it's bypass, you can't see it, but you can have the same option. You also can, if I want to do surgeon on this one and Jupiter on that one, then I can have a pretty diverse sound. And I also can switch between the two. Let's go ahead and swap. Let's swap F1 with F2. All right, so seeing what's going on. Bring us that Moog sound. Well, the Moog function. That's why, if you're wondering, if you want like a step version of the filter, then yeah, you can pretty much do that. I like multi-mode. Multi-mode is very akin to what I've experienced with Moog sounds. So if you're wondering that if you can get that, then yes, the answer is yes. All right, so let's go ahead and get rid of filter 2 for right now. And we're gonna do something right here. So what I'm gonna do is get to the good stuff. Now, with every sound, there's a certain characteristic with every sound that can be associated with all the great sounds, is what I'm trying to say. And that is modulation. Modulation is very important to creating different sounds, movement. Matter of fact, modulation means movement. So that's kind of the heartbeat of every sound that you'll probably want to make in electronic music, at least, especially if you do genres like, I don't know, genres like drill. Obviously, if you do certain styles of house and junglist type music, definitely dubstep, if that's still a thing or not, I don't know. I'm not choosing violence, guys, okay? But yeah, so modulation. So how does modulation work in here? And it's very simple to find out. As you can see, I've been looking and gassing up these plus signs on the side of every individual parameter on here. Ooh, and I kind of missed one. Oh, well, God darn it. I hate when I do that. Anyways, so, all right, all right, so what I'm gonna do is do some modulation to the cutoff, because if I play the cutoff right now, and I move the cutoff parameter, I noticed that would be ideal for some modulation. So I'm gonna hit this plus sign right here, and now you'll see this area, which is the modulation area, light up like a Christmas tree. Now, to assign it, it's very simple. It's no longer drag and drop or anything like that, like other VST plugins. Well, all you have to do is just bring it in there, and now you'll start to see modulation or movement, okay? And by the way, you can adjust this. You can adjust the modulation later. It's a little, that's one thing I don't do very well with this, but you'll see. But yeah, modulating the cutoff right now. And if I play that sound, let's go ahead and just turn this tempo all the way up. Now, let's talk about the LFO. So I have it assigned to LFO 1. Now, how do I control that LFO with this new movement, this new modulation? Well, it's right here. And as you can see, you have LFO 1, LFO 2, and LFO 3. And LFO 3 is doing some nutty stuff. But within these LFOs, you have some very interesting things. The main thing that is that you'll see is waveform. So you can actually change the waveform of the LFO. So if I have more of a triangular, rigid, it will be affected as such versus like it being a sine wave and riding a wave. Now I increased the BPM to 50 BPM, and I'm gonna go over here to rate because I'm pretty sure y'all are like, what? Like it's at 150 BPM. And if you control the rate, like you'll see it being affected over here in LFO 1. You can see the waveform change. So let's go ahead and go down, and you see it go slowly. But if I go up here, it starts going fast. And yeah, but there's 2 different modes of rates. So right now it's in free running mode. It's controlled by hertz. So if I actually highlighted this, you see that it is 8, I believe 8 was, now it's 5.18 hertz. But what if I wanted to match my BPM? I would go over here to sync. And you have this drop down menu. You see sync, you see sync triplets. That would be interesting. Now let's hear sync. All right, so let's go ahead and record something in real quick. I'm gonna go ahead and record something real quick. All right, I didn't expect it to start like that. Let's go. Yeah, it's messing up on me. Or I'm messing up. One of the two. One of the two. I'm gonna go ahead and make this 8-bar loop and turn that off. I'm gonna do something real quick. I'm gonna grab a drum loop. All right, let's go over here to some of my stuff, my secret stash, right? Because everybody has a secret stash of sounds that they don't want people to have, but they use all the time. That was the wave of helping people get at a disadvantage. But yes, that is disrespectful. So let's use that loop. Let's go back over here to Pigments, and I'm gonna pull Pigments back up. So now we have something to work with on the side. What is going on, my guy? Cannon on the beat. What's good? You know what? I didn't even realize I made you a moderator. I love Ableton's drum kits. Guilty as charged using the basic shit. There ain't nothing wrong with that. What's going on, Russell Edwards? Dubstep died, but unfortunately, death from commercialized of the worst aspect, its characteristics still influence other genres. Well, true indeed. 2009, baby. Wrong plugin though for the discussion. Anyways, going back to that, we have something established, and what I'm gonna do is just mess with different rates. And that's just one part of the game right there. Now, this is where, hold on. This is where I was about to say Ableton. This is where Arturia shines at. Better than any company on the market. Now, there was a plugin called Serum that was pretty good at doing stuff like this, but it had its limitations. However, you're able to modulate within an LFO. So if I wanted to modulate that rate, I could with LFO2. Like I'm gonna give LFO2 its own little assignment, which, by the way, these numbers right here mean the amount. So the less of that amount you have, the less the sound is affected, or the less modulation is put in there. So I should have said that earlier, but you know, I'm not perfect. All right, Marie, what's going on, P. Smith? Timeless music, what's going on? So anyways, you see where I'm getting at. I'm gonna go ahead and assign that to rates. Let's assign that to rates, okay? And let's see what we got. And now you're starting to get why I'm excited about this synthesizer and why I'm walking through it so carefully. And we haven't even got to the other engines yet. So when we're talking about functionality, you see that I can set the rates, and I can go a little further back and have some more different styles. And add more modulation. Applying the more modulation to the rate sync and LFO by using LFO2, and kind of demonstrating some things. Now, all right, so now that we have that established, you can mess with phases too. So I can do a whole jungle fudge nut amount of stuff. So I'm gonna go ahead and assign phase to LFO2. This is nuts. This is nuts. Like, peep the filter, and when I play it. That's crazy, bro. That is just extremely crazy. Dude. Just pure chaos. Now, what if I didn't want that to happen there? And, you know, I'm sitting here trying to remove stuff and all that. Let's just turn down the LFO2. First, you can just double tap and reset the parameter, and then you don't have to worry about phase. Yeah, and then you have fade, where it'll fade the sound in there. You'll also be represented with kind of like an ADR representation of how much of the LFO will hit on every turn, I believe. So you can smooth out your LFO. And then you have LFO reset sources. You can reset it from the poly keypad, the legato keypad. You can do function 2. You can just do a whole bunch. The modulation goes really deep on this sequence clock, and we have to get more into that. So filter going crazy. What's going on, Lucid Bounce? Now that we have covered modulation simply, there are other sources that you have to do modulation. Don't be fooled. Like, say I wanted to do phase on, the envelope. So you have your envelope section right here, right? You can go and look at your envelope section. We're gonna see we have envelope VCA, which is the amplitude. So, you know, that's how you would shape a sound. We're gonna talk about that a little later, or we're gonna talk about that next. And then you also have your envelopes that you have that's free running, like envelope 2. It's not assigned to anything yet, so I'm gonna go ahead and assign it to that. And let's hear the sound. Let's look at that. Mess with decay. Let's give it no release. Let's set it to randomness. Dude, I'm kind of freebasing this off the simple fact that I understand the concepts of sound design from hardware to software and so forth. But I'm more amazed about this plugin than I was initially in the video, which I was amazed. But going back to it, what I want to show you is I wanted to show you, your different instances, because you have function 2. Let's go ahead and add that to the panning. So let's go ahead and go to pan, and we'll add function 1 into that. And you have 3 different functions, and we'll talk about how those functions work. So you're going to hear a lot of panning in this instance here. What I'm going to do is slide it over right about here. And if I apply more, you see the amount change. And I've been kind of like trying to fiddle with the knob to get it done. I mean, I've been using Serum for I don't know how long. But yeah, so you have a function here. We got it into the pan. Let's hear it. The panning's gonna be everywhere. Let me go ahead and hear it in mono. So, and this thing holds well in mono. And we got a pretty wicked sound just from not trying. But function 1, what are the different parameters? Again, remember, bottom, if you ever get lost on what things do, you can always count on the bottom left part of the screen to explain that. If you don't see any of that stuff, well, you have to click on this area right here, and you can get a little more, a little less information. So, and also you have your options over here, just in case. But anyways, let's go with the function here. You have rate sync. So if I play the sound, you can clearly hear that it's ramping. I can do Hertz mode. I can do sync triplets. I can do dot. Let's make it slower so you can hear the panning. Let's go to function 1. Oops, whoopsies. Function 1, let's increase it so it can be more apparent. All right. And the thing about the functions is these can function exactly like LFO. So you got more LFOs than you want, but this is more free form. So you can kind of adjust them, add points, I believe, take away points. So let's add another point there. Let's delete that point by either 2-finger gesture on a MacBook or just right clicking. Right clicking will delete it. And then you can have curves. Yeah, so let's hear that sound with all this new stuff on there. Remember, the function 1 is controlling the pan. So all the stuff that's over there, you can see in function 1 is pretty much what's going on in the frequency. So again, polychrome synth, and you see that a lot of the modulation has a lot of frequency manipulation to it. All right. All right, so now we have that control. You also can change it. You have LFO mode, you have different modes. You have envelope mode, you want it to be an extra envelope. It could be that. It could be that. But I'm gonna keep it in LFO mode. You can choose bipolarity mode, which will do this. All right, so we'll keep bipolarity mode on. You can choose loop or one shot. And you also can choose run. These are things that are essential to sound design. And you also have presets too, which I don't rely on, but you know, it's cool to have these different initial things going on, so you can, you know, if you have to reset it and kind of apply it again. And of course, you know, you always have the undo button, which is at the bottom right. Boy, it's raining really hard out here. So whatever I deleted in the past, I can go back and fiddle with. You have different draw modes, of course. You know, you can draw out steps. You know, you want to do all that kind of crazy stuff. Hey, let's have at it. Also, there is a randomization feature, and it tells you what it does at the bottom part. So let's go ahead and just roll the dice. Well, let's go ahead and you have to get on the dice and go up or down, and then you can, wow, this is insane. So you can see, wow, damn, pigments, damn pigments. Whoa. All right, let's take the function 1 down a little bit in the amount. Mess with the knob. And let's see what we got. But yeah. So yeah, it's pretty brilliant at just frequency modulation, man. This is a brilliant symphony. I haven't even, and we're still in the walkthrough part of just showing you the basic functionality and ideas. So there's a shit ton more when it comes to quality of life sounds. So what's going on, Corvette Music? I see you in there acting a fool. But yeah. Going from there, you have different, we talked about functions. You have randomization. You can see the randomization right here. You can choose flip. Again, you can assign all this stuff. And it never really changes. You have different types of randomization. You know, you got binary, you got sample and hold, you have turning, churning, or what is it? Churning? Churning? Okay. And then you have culmination. Culmination, shoot. And this is where I messed up in my video when I was explaining it. I was like, how did I miss this? But anyways, it happens from time to time. We get it, we speed through things. But yeah, this culmination is pretty interesting. We'll talk more so about that way late. But it is a part of your modulation. And you also can assign micros too. So, all right. Now, let's talk about effects. So, if you pay attention to the top part of this, we can go over here to this tab on the UI, and we're in the effects section in which you get a whole bunch of different effects. So we're in effects section A, or we can turn off B for now. We could turn off auxiliary because we don't need that. And now we can apply some stuff. So what are the different effects in a nutshell? So if I go over here to delay, clearly delay is one of your effects that you can assign. So you have a delay, PS delay, which they introduced that not too long ago. Tape echo, you have reverb, you have distortion, bit crush, compression, multi-band, chorus, chorus Juno 6. If you're into the Juno 6 chorus effect, you know, that is quite unique to other chorus effects on the market. You have stereo pan, you have multi-filter, phaser, flanger, BL20 flanger, and a parametric EQ. I'm not going to go through all of those because I think everybody gets the basics of pretty much every one of those effects. But I will show you how they sound. PS delay, pretty good delay. You also have different presets for every individual effect. So I'm going to go with fifth rush. That's with the effect on. Let's turn it off. And we'll turn it back on. All right, now we have a reverb too. Let's go ahead and turn off PS delay right now. It's kind of tripping my balls, but
Come on, hell no.
but it's trippy, man. I know people always say I look like Dave Chappelle. Forget all y'all. But now you have reverb. We're going to talk about reverb, and we're going to hear it. Let's add it in. So, you know, with any effect, if you don't hear the effect, make sure that you check out dry and wet. And also notice that anytime you see a plus sign, that's a parameter that you can modulate, which I don't think there's any. Well, dampening, you can't do that. Decay, you can. Pre-delay, you can't. Size, you can't. So you got a little bit of limitations, but I mean, come on, guys. But anyways, so and everything is pretty. When it comes to Arturia Pigments, everything is hands-on with the visuals part. So if you're one of those people that, you know, you heavily rely on visual instead of your ears for some godforsaken reason, which most people at this day and age with music do inherently, we like our meters and shit. But yeah, you can adjust it there. So we have that. We can hear it, presets and stuff. You know, boom. More importantly, though, is being able to understand how these work, because they're on different tabs. So you'll see that if I go to the auxiliary tab right over here, that is on here, on this left side of this UI, you can see it on here being represented. And you also can, you can bust in on here too. So if you don't want to use that effect, and you don't have to use that effect. But I just turn it off and just leave that on, and double tap on the parameter or yeah, and you'll reset it. But anyways, going back to FX1 or FXA, pardon, you can rearrange your effects. So I thought it, oh my God, I thought I almost crashed. But yeah, so now I have reverb first, and then I have PS delay second. So, you know, just keep that in mind. Well, congrats, Terrence. A lot of this stuff, the basic information can be applied to any synthesizer, but this one is pretty unique on its own, if you're wondering. Now, I don't have PS delay on, but one of the things I wanted to do was have the reverb kind of smudge the PS delay. So let's do that. I was just messing with it. It sounds horrible, but the drum line is fire though. That drum break is fire. Stay tuned for that. Anyways, so PS delay trash, but I will do well in this instance. It's not a garbage effect. Let's hear it now though. Oh. So what I've discovered over here within the PS delay is that I can set it to semitone straight up, so it can be kind of in sync with the main melody. Anyways, so yeah, just playing with effects there, just kind of figure some stuff out. I don't want to just inherently just show you everything, but the basic stuff, because this is the basic stuff. And you can have 3 effects clearly. you can have 3 effects per tab. So FXA, you can have 1, you can have 3. FXB, you can have 3. Auxiliary, you can have 3. Okay, so, okay, cool. Bet. So, yeah. But maybe I don't like the reverb, but I want to put the distortion. I'm going to go ahead and arrange it and put the distortion on top because that's going to make a difference. Let's go ahead and mess with distortion. Let's go with distortion. Let's turn off reverb. Of course, you have your different styles of distortion. You can mess with them inherently. They sound incredible. Let's go with the output. You can clearly can get some stupid distortion on this, which is important to when you build basses. Right now, I'm using this to build a lead, and the lead in itself is just doing great. Thank you for the sub. I think that was the first one this whole entire stream, but I appreciate it. But yeah, just going through the different distortions. I know it's a little low, so I'm going to increase the volume. See those again. And of course, if I go to it, I can assign it to LFO. Let's assign it to LFO3 for right now. And with distortion, you can roll off a lot of those frequencies that you don't want. Right now it's on high pass, but you can have low pass and band pass, so let's roll that off. And oh my God, that dark sounds incredible. What else? Yeah, so it's a lot under the hood. It can be very confusing, and I totally get if people just don't want to deal with this this synthesizer. However, I don't want you to sit there. I don't want people to sit and lie. And this is gonna be my chat break, I guess. Sit and lie and say that certain plugins are great every freaking year, and they're not great. And Arturia is a company that strives to become great or be great every individual year. We just witnessed another company. Again, this is a chat break, and we're off topic here, but I just want to give Arturia their flowers for creating such a extravagant synth experience on your DAW. So, P. Smith, I get to the sample when I want to. Anyways, so the thing is, I've witnessed companies drop some of the most simple early 2000 quality, and one of them being ReFX Nexus 4, and not adding much but presets. And those presets don't offer any type of palette that would even change the game. They just offer you stuff that you already heard, and in a bad package at that. It's not even good shit. Like, it doesn't even sound like most of the stuff. And that's bad. And hence where we have this plugin right here, that just does absolutely any and everything, and still manages to keep it simple. So, but yeah, that is basically it there as far as the effects, just a little section. But now let's go ahead and talk about the sequencer and the arpeggiator. So I'm going to turn it on right now, and let's hear it. And the parameters of it has changed, the sound. If I turn the arpeggiator off, I believe, what am I on, like a harmonic minor, I believe? harmonic minor C, of course. Let's go to harmonic minor C. And so what I'm doing right now is I am setting up the arpeggiator for success, because you can do a whole bunch of stuff. One at the first is pitch. Yeah, you can transpose up and down, of course. And then you have what you call, you can assign this, and this is something I need to explore. But you can assign this to any type of modulation that you want, but you can transpose it up. Turn it up a little bit. All right. You have randomization. So change it to like another type of minor. All right, so right here, let me explain this real quick. So you can take different notes out. You know, maybe I don't want the, well, let's see. Well, duh. Oh, no, this is chance. Ooh. Okay. Or either that or my shit just froze. One of the two. Oh, okay. But yeah. Anyways, I guess you can't do that in chromatic, but you can do it in custom. Oh, okay. So we're in custom. Let's go ahead and turn that off, 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 and turn that off. Let's turn E back on. I'm just messing with some of the features. Let's go back to harmonic minor. But yeah, as you can see, it can get extremely nuts. And I'm using randomize right now. But yeah, you can change the different notes. Let's turn off random for right now. And true indeed, yeah, you can spell it out basically, and by hold on. Oh yeah, I almost forgot. Yeah, pitch rate divider. This I'm just gonna let you hear that. I just turned on polyrhythms. Realign. You can do swing. And of course, rates, sync triplets, BPM. You can also manipulate octaves. Let's make this normal. Let's go to sync. There we go. So I don't want to mess it too, make it too crazy. Let's go. And if I'm not mistaken, you can do randomize, like let's see, it says auto regime randomization, and then you can apply it to whatever parameter that's on here, as long as you have some type of regime going, and continue to do that. something of that order. Do sliding. It's 300 on sale for 100. Damn. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, so I'm trying to stay on topic here as we mess with the arpeggiator. But yeah, I don't want to get too far into it. Messing with velocity, these are things that's kind of obvious to you. But yeah, and let's continue to roll it. Let's continue to roll. Let's go 1/8. Regime. Okay, that's how you randomize it. Boom. Let's go back over here to let's turn distortion off and turn reverb back on. This sound is so nuts now. It was like something normal. But yeah, you could do a ton of crap with the arpeggios. You also have a sequencing. You have a sequencer here. You can, let's see. Well, we was just in sequencer, by the way. You have regular arpeggiations. And you can choose from as played, down, up. It's a little funky right now. We'll reset them all. All right, so I apologize for not talking during that sequence there, but you kind of get the picture if you haven't just randomly just walked in and to see what Pigments can do. But yeah, man, my God. And that's just the basic stuff. Now, there's a whole bunch of stuff. We're already on the third tab. There's things I did leave out, like if the sound was too low, you can turn it up over here. And that's kind of a good, and what, you know, this master, what you want to use master tuning, well, master volume on a plugin is if you don't have like a plugin this big, you can't really access it. You can't access, well, you can, your mixer or whatnot. Like it makes it mixing a little easier in that process here. I mean, obviously I got to push over here and I can do what I want to do. But if you don't have that option, that's what it is. Because like if I wanted to kind of match that with the drum. You get the point there. Like it's quite capable of doing a whole lot of Schmidt. That would make more sense in a sense that what's going on? Tapping in. Eavesdrop. What's good, brother? But yeah, this is probably one of the more ultimate synths that I'm gonna explore a lot more in 2022. I need a fresh start. But yeah, sound designers, don't overlook this. That's for sure. What I'm going to do here is do a nice little reset. I'm going to go back over here in the templates. Yeah, I'll just go granular pad. But I'm gonna go and go back into. It has a lot of damn presets, which is not a bad thing, given its price point right now. Yeah. So we're back to square one. We have MIDI. We have MIDI in there, but let's go into sample. So as you know, this thing can handle one shots. So here's one of the one shots that you get. And it's like a piano sound. Needs a little bit of something in there, right? And you have a ton of one-shot samples that you can go through. So you have E-pianos. You have Foley. Oh my God, that's crazy. That is nuts. Guitars and basses. Let's hear some classic guitar. And if you're wondering, yes, you can. Thank you for the sub. And if you're wondering, yes, you can. You can put your own one-shots in here. I talked about that briefly in the video. One of the things you could do is just go to your folder area right over here and set up your thing. So what I'm going to do is, I don't want y'all seeing all my goddamn sauce. So I'm going to go and pick out my folder. Jesus, boy, I don't even, boy, the life of a music producer. Boy, I got 41 gigs on one hard drive, then I have freaking 432 gigs on another hard drive. Jesus. Why is that? I don't know. I got a 2 terabyte hard drive, and that thing still got full in a matter of seconds. Let's go into my D drive and set up my folder. Which one shot folder I want. I think it's the video game one I want. Let's see. And if it has any issue, we'll find out very soon. Let's see. Where video game stuff. Boom. At least you get to hear the title of it, so you can be excited for it. So now I've locked in Cold Wicked, what's good? DJ Sneak, what's good? But yeah, now let's go into, I pulled up a folder, and you know, they say it's supposed to be there after the fact, and it's still there. I have a ton of sounds. I have sounds from different video games that I played for quite a while. If you know me, you know my content. You know I do some terrible beats using video game sounds. But nonetheless, let's go and see what it can do. So I'm going to Super Mario RPG. Let's see what's in there. And it's going to play all the one-shots that I have. Some of these sounds are actually a little lower than, they're still in the original SFC format, which is downgraded. So I have that short little sound from, is it that? We'll find out. Uh-oh. But yeah, I just loaded it in there. Now that we have that sound, hopefully it's the right one. And I've seen it has different lanes too. You see different lane, that lane is different. So let's see, let's add that. Okay, so I haven't played with this. I know a lot of people want to see like the one shots and, oh, Mcree, can he do some cool stuff with it? But if I don't know what's up, then I just don't know. Like for example, I have that sound here. I'm gonna transpose it, no, root note. All right, C3. So you can transpose your one shots. You can loop it. You have normal playback, reverse playback. Let's go loop playback. is, and it's on reverse right now. So let's go into normal playback. So you can set up, let me see. You might want to use sounds that have, unless, you sure you want to remove select the sample from the slot? No. If I can loop mode forward, I never thought of it that way, but it does make sense. Sample start. Sample start, we can adjust that. Okay. So I'm guessing that's the loop point that you would set. Let's go to this sound. Let's go and grab a better sound from there. All right, that should be better. And I have to tune it to C. Let's hear it in the beat. Okay. Okay. You can tune it right here too. Interesting. So slot B. The sample. All right. So we're gonna choose loop here. So we have a start point that we can adjust, and let's bring that over here. Oh, it's not smoothie Tuesday. Oh, one shot's in here. It wouldn't be that bad. Let's play it. So one thing I like is at least at the very minimal, it allows you to, I would say, like zero snapping, so I don't hear any excessive popping. Let's see here what loop fade sounds like. Wow, so you can adjust the loop fade. So this is much like the MPC in that regard. You do, let's go back and forth. Arc of noise was good. So we're just messing with the one shots here. Mix B with what? Okay. Oh, so so you can do round robin. So let's get a sound in this one, in this category here. Let's grab that sound. Let's see. -12. Wow. I am starting to become stunned with this sumbitch. Wow. So let's hear that in retrospect. So what I'm going to do is go over here to this sound. Let's go into edit. And it's transposed all the way down to 36%. Let's transpose it with the root note. So right now it is in round robin still, even though I went to the map. So if I was to play, let's go ahead and play some notes. So when I play stuff on the keyboard, it rotates. So if I let's hear that relative to the beat. So we're just hearing some shit. Right now, it's not gonna make any total sense. But yeah, so just importing some samples and stuff like that. So basically, you can import 6 different waveforms and rotate between them just by going over here into mapping, doing round robin, sample pick. Weird. Let's hear that. Cool. Okay. Let's go in the middle, I guess. Okay, let's do random. Oh wow. So random. Well, it says random, but I don't. Okay. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and delete that awful shit. I'm gonna go ahead and do a scale. Scale chords. Let's go and pick out a root key. Yeah, there we go. Meh, meh. All right. So hopefully y'all can hear me kind of clicking through it, playing on the keys. So yeah, you can hear the randomization key mapping. So you can adjust where you want A and B, which is interesting. So you can take these 6 different lanes and assign it on. Why did the tree go this far? Damn. Jesus. So how would you assign it though? Because it's not giving me a range, a defining range. I don't know. Key velocity map. But yeah, you get the point. All right, so let's go. I want to see how many if voices and unison work. Oh, what? That's crazy. So in hindsight of that, I can go and assign this to voices and then go over here to the LFO and then set it to like a sync. So you can, in a nutshell, unison voice anything that you want, even waveforms. That's very unique. And they got different modes for unison. This is things that I didn't talk about earlier. And it seems to be the case with not only samples. Let's go to Engine 2 and see if we can go into wavetables, because I know people.
No. We'll do it live! Fuck it! No. We'll do it live! Fuck it! No. We'll do it live! Fuck it!
I'm pretty sure people are curious. Yeah, so you have this area right here is not unique to analog or wavetable. Is unique. It works on every last one of the engines. So you have this tuning section for all that. And by the way, let's go ahead and give this sound some type of reverb, I guess. Let's go over here to envelopes. Let's go to this and shape up stuff. Ah, damn it, I forgot. All right, so this is the perfect time to talk about this, and I will get this straight. So VCA, voltage controlled amplitude, something like that, amplitude, basically, or volume controlled. So this controls the volume. So if you know, when you're doing sound design, there are different sounds that you will probably want to happen. So this sound right now, just your normal lead with a whole bunch of reverb on it sounding awful. So if I wanted to be a pluck, well, I would access this right here, which is the volume envelope, turn down sustain, and you can actually modulate that. Oh, that's crazy. That's fucking crazy. And now we have like more of a pluck sound, though it's not very plucky because of the nature of that transient. You can adjust it. You can do release, which pretty much responds to sustain. I want to roll back the release a little bit. And you have an ADR, I guess. Whoa, what is ADR? Envelope VCA mode. When set to ADR, the gate length is ignored and the envelope runs the entire ADR cycle when triggered. Okay, that makes sense since I have sustain on. Now, but yeah, you take away sustain, you get more of a plucky sound. Doesn't sound great when I take off the reverb, of course. And yes, I am using a video game sound. I'm a loser. All I do is sit here and look at different ways to create things. But anyway, so back to the VCA. We just did a pluck. Well, yeah, you have things called what? A pad sound. What does a pad sound look like? So a pad sound, it has more attack, meaning if I mess with the attack now, sounds like that. But if I boost that, it comes in smoother, pad-like. Hopefully I am. It is sounds from Squaresoft, by the way. These are the original sounds that I'm using for my one-shots. Are the original sounds of Super Mario RPG, which is one of my favorite RPGs, especially on the SNES. Chrono. Nah, I'm just gonna keep it real and just say Super Mario RPG. I like Super Mario RPG more than Chrono Trigger. I mean, we could argue that all day. And they also use the same sounds in Final Fantasy VI. You know, sound selection is great, but it just depends on the composer. But yeah, anyways, the more attack I apply, the longer the sound takes to get into the peak point. You feel me? You heard? You know? And I can take away decay and have it slide all the way down. You know? Decay curve. Let's go. Well, I need to add decay to it. Let's go back. Let's mess the decay curve. You can see you can kind of manipulate that. Let's get rid of the release. But yeah, you can see the basic, the basic shapes or the basic sound types that you would do, like pluck. Let's just go ahead and review that again. So you got plucks, Let's add a little bit more decay. Let's take away the decay curve. Yeah, so your pluck sound. And then you have more of a lead sound, which sounds like this. You add sustain. Don't forget that these parameters all can be modulated. So, you know, if you want to go butt the noodle crazy, you can. All right, and now you have your pads, which is this. Maybe a little bit less attack. Or a little bit more. All right. So, yeah. All right. But yeah, you can make some pretty raw sounds, and the envelopes are very important. Got it out of the way. Chapters will help out a lot. But anyway, so we're in effect. So with the samples, what we have discovered, because I did not know if it was a thing or not. Let's go back to the main screen. Let's go ahead and select that, and oh my god, Arturia is just an animal. I can't stand this company for this. But we have the sample engine right now. You also have granular, and yeah. So you can mess with the grains. Let's mess with the density. Let's mess with the density a little bit more. So you can add a combination of one, because these are slots. These do work exactly like how the MPC works. MPC, well, you can do granular synthesis. It's just not so abrupt in your face like this. But yeah, you can choose how your grains move. You can do pitch, and keep in mind, attention to the plus sign, because that means you can modulate that. And you can mess with the different shapes. You can change different shapes of what you want for your granular synthesis. You can change size time. What I'm curious about is if you use samples and then you want to save like a preset pack or something like that, could somebody pull it up in theirs without having that sample? Now, if they have that nailed, oh, that'd be great. But we're just messing with things right now. Let's mess with size. Let's give it a limit here. How do you randomize though? And we haven't messed with any of the other stuff. Let's go into unison. Let's go to classic. All right. Let's mess with width. Let's change the pan. Let's change the sync. Elasticity. You can change pitch, higher, lower. Let's modulate the direction. Let's go ahead and give it to L. Let's put it in FL3. See, you can mess with start time. All right, you can mix that. Filter. Let's go ahead and modulate cutoff. Filter. My pleasure travels of Gina and Jamila. This is a hard one. Jimmy Shannon on sound. So that's a very difficult one. Falcom is very good. I say I have some minor gripes when it comes down to saving your presets. Saving presets in UVI Falcon is not hard to figure out, but you shouldn't have to figure out. It should be pretty simple. Like if I wanted to save something in here, I would just save it. Or nah, it's making a fool out of me right now. Or actually, you would just hit the hamburger menu and then say preset as. And you know, you would just change it, comment, you tag it up, and so forth. So that was a good question that you asked. You can't decide between the two. I will say that Pigments is a whole lot simpler. Falcon does a whole lot. A whole lot. No more M1 Mac. I love Pigments. Oh yes, I still have my MacBook Air M1. I am working on my MacBook Pro 14-inch. I've had the money, I don't know how many different times, but you know, I've just been doing all over the place. But just like I'm all over the place with this. So yeah, I'm looking at some of the editing features. I don't see anything about just like trimming up a waveform, which is it's kind of like, oh man, but just go in whatever, you know, audio editing software that you have, and when you have one shots, make sure that they're cut the way that you want them before you put them in Arturia Pigments. It's kind of forgivable for all of what they do. So what I'm going to do is go back into mapping so we can hear everything together. Sample picker. Let's go and do round robin. I was about to say round wobbin. It's not doing it. Maybe I should go back. Let's go into single. Let's go back into this one. Go into main. Oh, they're kind of similar. And sound, because I need to change that back too. Okay, there we go. Now let's go back over here into map and do round robin so we can get a little bit of difference here. Boy, I'm about to make a I'm about to make a mean pack. Boy. But yeah, for those who wanted to see the the sample player in full effect. Well, yeah, there you go. I did notice one thing though. If you activate granular, it does affect both of these. I mean, at this point, I don't really expect Arturia to do much more than what they have already done. I mean, it's only fair for what it is. And let's go to classic. Let's see. Let's hear that. Oh, so the sound, great sound quality. I have this spread very far. DJ App, you tried the edit button on the sampler to trip it, to trim it. Yeah, I tried it. The editor, you know, I see slot B. It says slot B clear. Remove the sample with the trash can sign. You know, I haven't tried any snapping, and if I press this left and right, it will just change the sample altogether, and that's not what I'm trying to do. I don't see any destructive editing tools within editor mode. I do see constructive tools, but not destructive. All right, so now that we're out of that, let's go into, let's get out of that. Oh yeah, so combining sound would be crazy on here. Yeah, but let's go ahead and go into here. If you're in the wavetable synthesis, it does do that. I mean, the wavetable engine is pretty straightforward. You have your basic waveforms. You can choose between different waveforms. Of course, you have building waveforms. It tells you pigment 3.5. You have different sounds there. I don't know if it's standard 256 snapshots. You can do anything as far as frequency modulation, exponential, frequency types. Let's go ahead and go over here to filter to effects, and let's get some straightening on that. All right, let's go over here to synth. Let's hear the sound without any. Wow, this sound is very low, but yeah, that's I'm just going through different waveforms right now. You can change it to 2D and so forth. Right now it's out of tune like a mug because I don't know. Actually, you know what? Let's go into default. All right, that's one of the sounds here. Go to default. All right, now we're working with a wavetable. All right, so now we're in the wavetables here, and again, you can change your different basic waveforms. With basic waveforms, of course, you can cycle through different parts here. You have 2D look, 3D look like, you know, serum. You can change different phases, so forth. This gives you some crazier out-of-the-box sounds. You can add voices, which is not unique to just wavetable synth in here, or the wavetable engine can be used on harmonic, sample, and analog. So just keep that in mind. This area is always on the screen. You can do sync retrigger, of course. Let's go into random phase mode. Let's assign that to an LFO now. Let's go on that key modulation oscillator. Take that down just a little bit. All the guys that just like the whole make random noise type beats, you guys will love it. So Isomatic, he probably loved the fuck out of it. Space alien motherfucker. All right. Let's go into all right, phase distortion. And then rounds, different modes, wave folding, wave shaping, and yes, and so forth. If you're wondering, like, if can you one of the bigger updates for this was being able to modulate 2 different engines. You can see that too. You can modulate engine 2. And it inherently just gets weird. All right, so yeah. All right, so what plugin is this? This is Arturia Pigments. But yeah, you can have some excitement. One of the things that makes this, of course, with wavetable synths, not only just moving through the different parts of this modular, the waveform. But filtering those. Like you just go ahead and put that in the cutoff, this is typical stuff. Let's go ahead and make that into sync with the BPM. Let's go ahead and speed that rate up. And then let's mess with the phase and add phase to LFO2. You can self-oscillate. Let's get a little bit more volume on there. Actually, no, I'm gonna turn up the volume right here. Mess with symmetry. Face plant is like a modular, I guess. If you're looking for, I knew Isomatic was still there. But if you're looking for something like face plant versus this, they're their own things. Oh, well, here goes wavetable position. As I was struggling to find that, I'm gonna go ahead and modulate that wavetable position with LFO1. And let's go ahead and pick out some different sounds here. Let's go ahead back. Let's open that up a little bit more. Let's go ahead and do that over, delete. And I'm gonna bring that drum track in. All right, and let's go back over there to go back over here to track number 1. Delete that. and just make something generic. Maybe not that. You know what? I think I overly exaggerated the sound. Alright. Let's go ahead and get something a little happier. Let's go see my, well. You know what? Maybe not as long. One thing I don't like about Ableton is this. It's stuck to a laptop, and it does not sequence or clip better than like the Machine Plus or the MPC Live X01 or the Kai Force. Actually, the Kai Force is kind of similar, and I wish they would tighten that up. All right, so let's go ahead and reset this real quick. It doesn't matter. I'm gonna go and we're gonna go and mess with that again. Just showing some pretty cool stuff. Template default. Boop. All right, there we go. All right, now let's mess with the wavetable position. Unison voices classic. Super. I want to limit the voices. Ooh, that is something I have not ran into yet. I have not figured out how to do legato. My brain has 100%. All right. Now, I would assume it would be in voices. Chord super. Let's go into sync. Let's raise the BPM a little bit. So what I want to do is show you some of this. All right, where in the actual? Let's see. Mathematic. 613. Snap is well worth it. Get multi-pass as well. Steinberg just put a few things on sale each time, so yeah, it can be a wait if you dismiss. Man, last year, 2020, boy, they really rocked it with their stuff. They brought a lot to the table. Well, if you turn Unison off, that is something I have not thought about that. How in God's green earth would you? Let's go to keyboard then. Oh, okay, so in keyboard you can make it mono, legato. Okay. Glide times. And there's a reason why I'm making this. Let's stop that pattern. Let's make a new pigments on track number 2. Duplicate that, and we'll delete duplicate anytime you want. Okay, there we go. Now, and we're gonna set this to that, and make sure that it's armed. And let's make something relative of bass. All right. Let's. Oh, well, I can add unison to it. All right, let's go into LFO and mono keyboard. All right, let's make this a little bit more interesting. No reverb or delay. I just want goddamn distortion. Distortion. High pass filter, nah, low pass. All right. Yeah, we're just doing dumb shit. We're gonna change that. And change the basic waveform. I am doing massive dumb shit with this. Don't expect anything musical out of this. I'm just lollygagging around. Oh, so you can import stuff from Serum. That's cool. Just noticed that, but I'm pretty sure everybody does that now. Let's add that to 3. I don't need that on there. Actually, I do. That was pretty freaking awesome. Yeah, Jim, you probably, boy, you probably like a lot of destruction. Yeah. But yeah, this is pretty cool for like if you was trying to do something for film or wave folding, which is another form of distortion. Whoa. Yeah, I'm surprised with how well it holds in stereo. I mean in mono. So that's one of the big things when you're messing with these synthesizers. I always check that. Let's put that in function 1. Run. Go and scale. Gene. Let's randomize that shit. Scale it back a little bit. Yeah, draw mode. Yeah. Oh, look at this, crazy. Alright. Assign that waveform to F1. Let's take it down a little bit. This is stupid. Any tips for good sources of jungle and drum and bass breaks like those? Your best bet will always be loopmasters.com. If you have Battery 4, you could go to Native Instruments website and get the, what is it called, Rhythm Source. I've been playing with that. I haven't done a video on it yet because that's a totally different beast of a way to chop up beats and finger drum. And I'm not ready for it fully yet, but I will be, so be on the lookout for that. But yeah, that's a really good pack, the machine expansion pack that can possibly work in the MPC Live XM1 and in Ableton, by the way, via Kitmaker. All you have to do is just go to my channel. Let's see if I got my channel pulled up. Go to my channel, and if you want to put stuff, Kitmaker, I do a couple of videos on that, and you can make Ableton Live drum kits with it. What I want to show you as far as that, boop, boop, boop. Instruments, boop. All right. They just dropped this, and let's see. They just dropped this right here. Products. This website is so confusing. Oh, there it goes. Rhythm Source, Jungle Breaks, Stupid Breaks. lot of that stuff is done on the and you get over 445 loops. It is $50. I paid $50. I think you can get 25% off if you go over here. So make sure that you check that out if you want more drum breaks. But again, I did mention Loop Master. So, you know, for good stuff. And masters. There we go. All I had to do is type in jungle. I'm not going to go and look at my stuff. But let's see. Come on. Jungle. Pull it up. Where is it at? Where is it at? Ragged Jungle. No, let's make sure that, yeah, that's loops and one shots. And you just go over here. Jungle Breaks. There's one by original Jungle Breaks 3, 2 and 1. Live, I think it's good. But you can always listen. But original Jungle Breaks. There you go. And you'll have a whole bunch to work with. And I will introduce more. So, but anyways, back on to the topic here. We're just over here making some ridiculous shit. But yeah, as far as making good parts for your jungle type stuff, it's pretty much why I take Pigments at for that instance. As far as like sound design goes, it's all about experimenting with what works with what, and you'll be surprised of what you can get from it. Yeah, so. No, Rhythm is not a part of their Play series. Rhythm Source, by the way, let me go back over there. For the native instruments, this is for the Machine or the Machine Plus. It's the Machine expansion. It also works in battery. So if you have Native Instruments Battery 4 or whatever the newest version is, you can use it in your DAW firsthand. Or you can go with KitMaker, which let's type in KitMaker. KitMaker, is that the right one? Right, I think this might be the right one. No, maybe no, that's wrong. That's the wrong website. Wrong. Womp womp is KitMaker Gumroad, I believe. There you go. They got KitMaker, Preset Maker, and KitMaker. I've talked about it on my channel a plenty of times. KitMaker does. It takes Native Instruments expansions and makes them into Akai MPC expansions, Ableton Live expansions, Beatmaker expansions, and so forth. I have a whole on video about that. Over here, I just showed you KitMaker. That I did it basically on the MPC. I haven't done it in Ableton, but Sanjay has done a video on that, and I highly recommend Sanjay. His quality of his videos, the way he delivers stuff, is very excelsior. Well, could be trusted. He has opinions. He's not like other content creators that will just say something is good just for the sheer benefit of making money. He earns his 2 cents all the way around. But yeah, KitMaker will convert any Native Instruments expansion into MPC, Ableton Live expansion, or drum rack, or whatever, and so forth. So yeah. I highly approve of Sanjay if you want to see the Ableton Live video of that. So, yeah. But yeah, 2 hours in, I think we covered about everything, I think. I didn't cover all the other engines like Harmonic Engine. I covered just sample and analog. So, you know, Harmonic, you know, we can get into that another video or another live stream. I don't want to touch on something I know little to nothing about. He said Accurate Beats says, "Oh, what's going on? What's going on, Accurate?" But yeah, thank y'all so much for y'all time. Hope y'all have a good new year. I will be back with another video New Year's Eve, obviously. Hopefully it'll be something good. I'm still thinking. I just thought about doing a live stream because yeah, it's no reason not to, and that's one of the things I like doing, of course. So yeah, God bless everybody this next year. I hope everybody, shout out to the new subscribers. I wish everybody best of luck in 2020. I want everybody to strive to be something good. Don't worry about what others think of you. And yeah. So let's grab that, move that over here. But yeah, hope you're having a good time over there, Accurate. Appreciate you checking in. But yeah. Thank y'all so much. Happy New Year. Set your goals high. And make the best of it. I'm about to eat some food. It's hot as hell. It's like 63 degrees out here, and oh shit, looks like another tornado warning. But yeah, anyways, God bless y'all. We out.